I think this is more of a planetary health concern, Dave. So if you want to chime in
Yeah,
here.
sure.
Yeah.
And what you're really talking about, the definition of nature is well-established relationships of an ecosystem and a habitat, right? So the ecosystem are the residents. They're the ones that are living there, the living organisms. And the habitat is the structure of the house. And you need both of those in order to have a thing. Residents without a house don't have anywhere to live. You're in space. You're not on the earth. So you have a habitat plus an ecosystem. So in planetary health language, what you're really talking about are well-established relationships that have that may look competitive when you focus right in on one tiny situational exchange, but actually look exceptionally cooperative at scale. So it looks like there is something taking place that has orchestration, synergy, coordination, and other things. And we really don't quite understand this just yet, but that's what I was saying about complexity science. When you look at systems thinking, for example, when you look at the part, okay, you do analysis on it. You take it apart. You want to understand how the parts work. What is the part? But what people forget is that when you have a car and you look at the engine and you take it apart, the engine really doesn't tell you what the car does at all.
Yep.
So if you looked at the engine and you put the engine on the table and the steering wheel on a table, they're no flipping good. They don't do anything. The engine can't take itself anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So it's the relationship the engine has to the rest of the parts that defines what a car does. And that's the same with humans, the same with bacteria, it's the same with nature. And we have to understand what that means. Then one more point that I just think is really important to make now is that one of the things that we often do to carry the car metaphor forward is we talk about making the best thing. Well, if you take the best engine, the best tires, the best wheels, the best axle, the best steering wheel, the best from every single car on earth, and you put it all in a big garage, it won't even fit together. So you can't make the best car out of the best parts. The best car is the best relationship between the parts.
Yep.
And right now in nature, that's our car, if I can put it that way, we have broken relationships and we've broken some of them. So now with the lens we have, like this kimchi-derived nanoplastic lens, nature's responding, and I think we need to respond in kind by being kind and not overflowing our environment with things it has no clue how to develop a relationship with. And this is why I think that certain types of food that's available in ultra processed food categories. I'm gonna throw McDonald's under the bus because McDonald's now is just it's not the name of a company, although it is. It's kind of like saying Kleenex. It means tissues and
Yes.
hamburgers and fries or whatever, right? So if you take McDonald's, for example, and you leave that hamburger and fries out, it may not break down because nature doesn't really understand that relationship yet. Now, maybe if it gets wet, like Blake mentioned in another episode that we had, that will encourage nature to start breaking it down by hydrating that. But at the same level, like nature's just not quite sure what to do with that yet or hasn't developed an active relationship with it. I think that's coming, and then maybe this will be a springboard to something else. I think this is actively taking place right now with the rise in colorectal cancer in 29 to 40-year-olds. They have early antibiotic exposure and more, maybe not as much Nova 1 or 2 foods, which are less processed and more natural. Some people are not getting colorectal cancer, some people are. Why is that happening and why is cancer rates rising? I think that in this new modern world of post 1990, 2000, the relationships are not as understood in the human body. And so now we have to go and reestablish them. You got more people that are going to be, they can eat ultra processed food and they live a long time. We're seeing that. Donald Trump would be a good example if you want to put somebody under the McDonald's bus. It's well reported what he eats, and he's 80. He's actually beating the longevity metrics of just the normal US man, which is like
Yeah,
around
but
74.
that, well, we don't really, according to everything said, we don't know his actual health data. But at the same time, you're right. He is beating that on the age score, but he also uses modern medicine as a tool. We know that as
Modern
well.
medicine has high income. People at the top of a power food chain tend to live longer than those that don't because they have different stress and whatever. That's very true. But then
Yeah.
it's the relational nature of him and his environment.